Morning everyone. Today we are going to talk about the technological pedagogical content knowledge. Nowadays, technology has become an integral part of our everyday life. Through technology, teacher is now positioned to improve their teaching. But the common problem in the current trends in teaching is the proper integration of technology to blend content knowledge with instructional strategies and skills na appropriate for the learners.
Schulman, 1986, proposed a special type of knowledge, pedagogical content knowledge that represents a blending of content and pedagogy na nababagay sa gusto at abilidad ng bata para mas ma-facilitate ni teacher ng maayos ang teaching and learning process of the students. Mishra and Kohler 2006 expand Schulman's scheme by adding technological knowledge when it comes to integrating technology into the classroom. Their scheme is known as TPACK or Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge. TPACK proposes three major knowledge components, and those are content knowledge. It refers to any subject matter knowledge that a teacher is responsible for teaching. This knowledge encompasses all the facts, ideas, concepts, and theories related to the specific content. Si teacher dito alam niya kung ano ang kanyang ituturo. Next is pedagogical knowledge. It refers to teachers' knowledge about a variety of instructional practices, strategies, and methods to promote students' learning. This knowledge includes, among others, the knowledge of classroom management, assessment strategies, and lesson plan development. As a teacher, you must be knowledgeable in creating effective teaching and learning environments para sa mga estudyante to meet their needs and the requirements. The last one is technology knowledge. It refers to teachers' knowledge about traditional and new technologies that can be integrated into curriculum. Dito sa technological knowledge, si teacher must be knowledgeable when it comes to technology. Dapat alam ni teacher kung ano ang mga digital technologies ang gagamitin na appropriate for learners. Another components of TPACK that address how the three bodies of knowledge interact, constrain, and afford each other. And these are technological content knowledge or TCK. It refers to knowledge of reciprocal relationship between technology and content. Technological content knowledge, knowing how the digital tools na available kay teacher can enhance or transform the content. Kung paano ito i-deliver sa mga estudyante at kung paano ang mga estudyante maka-interact with it. Ito yung knowledge of how the technology can be manipulated to help students practice and learn the specific content. Next is pedagogical content knowledge or PCK. Is to Schulman's 1986 notion of an understanding of how particular topics, problems, or issues are organized, represented that diverse interests and abilities of learners are presented for instructions. It is a knowledge of teaching strategies to effectively deliver or help students to learn the lesson. Also, this knowledge relies heavily on the thorough understanding of the lesson being taught or learned. Sa madaling salita, ang pedagogical content knowledge is the knowledge kung paano magturo si teacher and help students learn in multiple ways equally effective for them. Next one is technological pedagogical knowledge at TPACK. It refers to an understanding of technology can constrain and afford specific pedagogical practices. It is the understanding how to use the digital tools as a vehicle to the learning outcomes and experiences that the teachers want. Ito yung knowledge of how various technologies can be integrated into teaching at kung paano ang technology can change the way teachers teach for the better. The last one is Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge or TPACK. It refers to knowledge about the complex relations among technology, pedagogy, and content that enable teachers to develop appropriate and context-specific teaching strategies. Dito, si teacher should have this knowledge in order to be able to integrate technology in their teaching sa kahit anong content. By having this knowledge, teachers should possess a thorough understanding of the relationship between the three major components of knowledge, the TKI, CKI, and PKI. And through this knowledge, teacher can teach lessons gamit ang appropriate methods and technologies.
And now, Miss Celaya will continue the discussion.
I'm going to present the three primary forms of knowledge in TPACK, and I will show to you a video about it.
This video is all about TPACK, Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge Framework. The TPACK model gives us a new framework for the integration of technology and education and how we can structure our classrooms to provide the best educational experience for students while incorporating technology. What is TPACK framework? TPACK stands for Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge. It is a theory that was developed to explain the set of knowledge that teachers need to teach their students a subject, teach effectively, and use technology. TPACK gives us three knowledge areas to consider: technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge. The circles in the TPACK diagram represent content knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, and technical knowledge. TK or technological knowledge. It is the knowledge about how to use ICT hardware and software and associated peripherals. Example: knowledge about how to use electronic tools like laptops, LCD projectors, Wiki, blogs, Edmodo, Google Class. CK or content knowledge. It is the knowledge of the subject matter. Example: knowledge about science, mathematics, history or language subjects. PK or pedagogical knowledge. It is the knowledge about students' learning, instructional methods, different educational theories and learning assessment to teach a subject matter. Example: knowledge about how to use teaching strategies like problem-based learning in teaching, inquiry-based instruction and differentiated instruction. There are three knowledge that will be formed when the three knowledge intersect. TCK or technological content knowledge. It is the ability of the teacher to select appropriate technology in a particular topic so that students better understand the content of the topic. With the help of technology, the concept of a lesson becomes more concrete. This will help the teacher to have a good teaching and to keep the students interested. PCK or pedagogical content knowledge. It is the teacher's ability to choose an appropriate strategy to teach a subject effectively. The teacher here considers the most appropriate task that will develop the skills of the students demanded by the subject matter. TPK or technological pedagogical knowledge. It is the teacher's ability to select the appropriate teaching strategy that technology uses in its implementation. For example, students will perform an activity and with the help of equipment, the result, output or performance of the students will be outstanding. At the center of the intersection of the three knowledge will be called TPACK. Here it can be seen that it is necessary to choose the most appropriate strategy for teaching a subject matter. The strategy is appropriate to the topic of the lesson and the abilities and interests of the students. Students are even more excited when the teacher also considers the use of technologies in carrying out students' tasks. When the TPACK framework is followed, teaching will definitely be effective and interesting.
Understand the TPACK model video that I've shown to you. So as we see in the video, TPACK model consider areas of knowledge in order to effectively engage students in technology. And we as a pre-service teacher, technology is important in teaching for it is effective.
Now, I will be discussing about why TPACK is important. Researchers found that the TPACK framework enhanced teachers' candidates' ability to use technology on their professions. So, this is exactly why the TPACK framework is important. The importance of TPACK is an essential part of the education system today as it incorporates the growing demand on the use of technology in the classroom, as well as continuing the focus on the content and how we teach it. Therefore, it sets up education for the future, as well as setting up the student for their future. TPAC, it is easy to think that adding a great LMS to the teacher strategy is going to enhance learning, meaning to say TPAC is more important in the field because TPAC shows that there is a relationship between technology, pedagogy, content, and knowledge. TPAC is important to the teacher dahil ito ay mahalaga sa pagpapaganap ng mga guro na ipatupad ang ICT sa kanilang pagtuturo as it enables teachers to select and use hardware and software at identify the affordance or kakulangan neto ng specific features and use the tools appropriately and effectively pedagogically way. Ang TPACK ay mahalaga din sa mga mag-aaral dahil ang mag-aaral ay nagtatrabaho ng mas mahusay sa pamamagitan ng technology at kadalasang nakikita nilang medyo kulang ang nilalaman at direktang pagtuturo. Therefore, by adding the technology component to already existing TPACK model, the student become more engaged in their learning. So, according to the author of study, Dr. Dorrit Moore explained also that the framework should be used to develop new forms of professions development to promote a better understanding between technology and pedagogy. Ang TPACK ay it has potential impact on teachers, teaching training, professional development, and student outcomes. And it is claiming that TPACK is an important concept in educational. So ngayon, may idea na kayo kung bakit mahalaga ang TPACK.
Applying TPACK to your lesson plan. The first example that we provide is the TPACK unit plan design. Lesson number 1 outline. Lesson title, What is Perimeter? Lesson author, Elizabeth Gareth Thomas. Grade level and section area, 3rd grade mathematics. Time allotted for lesson. The lesson will require 3 to 5 days, 1 hour and 15 minutes per day. Short description of lesson. The purpose of the lesson is to introduce perimeter to the group on students. They will use cooperative learning groups to work together. They will play group learning and they will be working individual learnings activity through a virtual website. They will use PowerPoint to learn the meaning of the words. They will also become skilled at how to calculate perimeter. Classroom layout and groupings of students. The class is broken up into cooperative learning groups of 4. They all have a team name and they are split up based on ability levels. They are mixed up in the groups high, medium, medium, and low. The distributions is based on their NWEA test course in which they take 3 times a year. When they are playing a game, they are in 4S. When they are doing a worksheet, they are in 2S. When they are on the computer, it is a 1:1 ratio. Grade level content expectation. Estimate the perimeter of square and rectangle in inches and centimeters. Estimate the area of square and rectangle in square inches and square centimeters. Michigan Educational Technology Standards for Students. Critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making. By the end of grade 5, each student will use information and communication technology tools like calculators, probes, videos, DVDs, educational software to calculate auto-collect, organize, and evaluate information to assist with solving problems, and use digital tools to find, organize, analyze, synthesize, and evaluate information. Instructional objectives. Students will be able to first identify the meaning of perimeter. Second, find the perimeter of square and rectangles. Third, identify real-life situation where they would need to use perimeter. Fourth, work together in a cooperative learning group. And fifth, generate individual score reports by completing individualized learning module on website. The material, resource, and technology, computers with internet access, and expert. As I have noticed, the lesson plan we provided is the TPAC, or the TPAC lesson plan is it focuses on the technology to enhance the teacher and the students, um, enhance their potential and knowledge about digital and technological tools to be used in educational purposes. And we have another example for TPAC lesson plan. Unit title, cardinal and ordinal numbers, subject English, grade level, 4th grade, semester, first, time allocation, 1 class meeting, 70 minutes. Competency standards, understanding very simple written English in classroom context, spelling and rewriting very simple written English in classroom context. Basic competencies, understanding very simple sentences, written messages, rewriting very simple written English correctly and appropriately. Indicators, pointing the difference between cardinal and ordinal numbers, mentioning cardinal and ordinal numbers from 1 to 100, using cardinal and ordinal numbers in simple sentences. The learning objectives, students are able to mention the difference between cardinal and ordinal numbers after discussing with their peers. Second, students are able to mention at least 10 cardinal and ordinal numbers ranging from 1 to 100 independently. Third, students are able to produce at least 5 sentences containing 5 different cardinal and ordinal numbers independently. The learning materials, the cardinal and ordinal numbers. Learning strategies, grouping discussion, pair work, individual assignment. The learning activities. Prior to the lesson, the teacher may have asked the student to do small research about numbers around them. They may do it while at home or at school. First, number one, the teacher asks the students to sit in group and discuss about what they have found during their research about numbers. Two, the teacher asks representatives of the group to tell the class about what the group think about their finding during the research about numbers. 3. The teacher guides the students to compare the form of the numbers they found and find the difference between them. 4. The teacher introduces the term cardinal and ordinal number and explains as well as gives example on how to write and use them in simple sentences. 5. Students are assigned in pairs and turns to play cardinal and ordinal numbers, drag and drop, game and word matching game. The teacher will walk around to observe and assist any team having difficulty with the games. 6. Students tell the class and the teacher about the result in playing games, whether there is any difficulty concerning the question or items of the games or not, at the teacher will give feedback and comment about them. Number 7, the teacher distributes a bingo worksheet to the students and guide them to play the bingo game classically. 8, the teacher review what the students have learned through a bingo game and help them wrap up their learning experience by asking them to take turns to individually do an online quiz about cardinal and ordinal numbers. 9, while doing so, the teacher assigns the students who have not yet got the turn to do the online quiz to write down 5 simple sentences containing both cardinal and ordinal numbers and submit them to the teacher as soon as they finish. The resource and tools: cardinal and ordinal numbers word matching game available at www.manythings.org/wbg/numbers -mw.html. Assessment: the teacher can use the online quiz as well as the 5 sentences writing assignment as the tool for assessing students' progress and understanding about cardinal and ordinal numbers. And the second example of the lesson plan, as what I have noticed, it is focuses on online classes because they have to submit their activities through online. In applying TPACK to your lesson plan, first we need to master the 3 primary forms of knowledge, which is the content knowledge, the pedagogical knowledge, and the technological knowledge. In content knowledge, there are some questions that we need to focus so that we can make our TPACK lesson plan design. The content knowledge, or the CK. What are you teaching and what is your own knowledge about the subject? What are we going to teach, and what is the knowledge of the teacher so that the learners will understand. Second is the pedagogical knowledge. How do your students learn best, and what instructional strategies do you need to meet their needs and the requirements of the lesson plan? Um, um, in this case, the teacher will need to understand the use of technology so that they can share it to their learners. And third is the technological knowledge. What digital tools are available to you? Which do you know well enough to use? And which would be the most appropriate for the lesson at hand? For this lesson, also students will need to do their task, and like in the question, what digital tools are available. The students will need a digital tools that are available in their respective homes. Next slide. Now that you have taken stock of your primary forms of knowledge, focus on where they intersect, while the ultimate goal is to be viewing your lesson and strategy through the lens of TPACK, or the center of the model, where all primary forms of knowledge blend together. Taking a moment to consider the individual relationship can be helpful. The first is the pedagogical content knowledge, or the PCK, understanding the best practices for teaching specific content to your specific students. Second is the technological content knowledge, or the TCK, knowing how the digital tools available to you can enhance or transform the content, how it's delivered to students, and how your students can interact with it. And lastly, the technological pedagogical knowledge, or the TPK, understanding how to use a digital tool as a vehicle to the learning outcomes and experience you want. TPACK is essential to enable teachers to implement ICT in their teaching, as it enables teachers to select and use hardware and software, identify and affordances of specific features, and use the tools in pedagogically appropriate and effective ways.